Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Wonder of Anime podcast. I'm your host, Lisa, and this is your weekly, sometimes bi weekly, sometimes monthly look at anime with me and a very special guest, whether that is a voice actor in the anime industry, anime content creators like podcasters, YouTubers, bloggers, and more, as well as people who sometimes make anime merch or just love talking about anime. You can get all that and more here with me. I am, first of all, let me just say this. How are you guys? It's been a little minute, and it's so funny because when I don't do the podcast, I always feel like I'm missing a huge part. But then I do so much other content that I'm like, it doesn't feel like I haven't done the podcast because I've been putting out blog posts or YouTube or, all the other million things that I do. And I forget that maybe some people may just listen to the podcast and don't follow me anywhere else. If that is something, I highly recommend that you stop what you're doing, head over to my Instagram at the Wonder of Ivy and my Twitter also at the Wonder of Ivy, and check me out. Check out all the things that I do. You can find everything that I do, YouTube, podcasts, blog posts, on my website, thewonderofanime.com. But I hope you guys have been well. I have been probably the best that I have ever been. I am doing like a million things, but trust me, and I promise you guys, I am having the best, the most absolute time. I am actually, at the time of recording this, it's Monday, July 19th, and I just got back yesterday from BlurredCon. So, if you guys don't know what BlurredCon is, it is an anime convention located in DC for anybody can come, but blurred meaning black nerds. So, it is a convention primarily made up of black and POC anime nerds. And y'all, this was my first time going. This was my first convention since COVID, COVID, that thing that happened that people pretend isn't happening. And it was such an amazing time. I'm not going to get into too much details just because I have a complete review of my experience, including footage and more, that will be coming to my YouTube channel sometime this week. But I had such a best time. I am coming off of such a high from that weekend. And the reason that I bring it up is because I attended so many dope panels, especially the some that hit a nerve in terms of creating content and branding, and it just really, really inspired me and gave me a lot of amazing ideas for what I want to do with the Wonder of Anime brand in terms of the podcast, booking more guests. And I met so many people at BlurredCon that I will be reaching out to have as guests on my podcast, as well as, just motivation for being consistent, and which I do believe I'm consistent. Let me just say that. The podcast is may not be consistent, but I believe everything that I do falls under the brand of the Wonder of Anime. So I'm consistent across all platforms in many different ways, but really kind of just honing in on creating a structure with my content that makes me happy, that motivates me to continue creating content, and basically just preventing burnout because with the brand, podcast, YouTube channel, blog, but as well as my business, the Wonder of Anime shop, where I have in anime embroidery items, as well as, my personal life where I'm also working full time and doing a million things. I got a lot going on. So this weekend definitely just gave me so many ideas of how to get my life back on track with content creating and doing it in a form where I am happy and not feeling burnt out and just enjoying everything, which so far I have, but I definitely want to hone in and kind of just perfect that a little bit more. But like I said, that's going to be a whole separate video on my YouTube channel, my BlurredCon reviews, highlights, and just, these specific things on how what I took from that experience is influencing me moving forward. All that being said, I have other plans for the future as well, other cons planned for the future. And I think my next one on the list is Otakon. So I'll be sure to share more details as that's coming closer. If anybody is going to Otakon in DC, I would love to meet up with you and just have a great time. So just want to say that. And I think that's it for my intro. Before I introduce my amazing guest, I definitely want to start incorporating some, what I've been watching in my intros. But right now, I haven't been watching anything. So I'm going to have to save that for another time. But without further ado, let me introduce my amazing guest this week, which is Erica. You may know her on social media as Tsunderi. She is a anime content creator. She has her own YouTube channel under Tsunderi, and she also is creating YouTube videos with HBCU Anime, which is that anime page that you've definitely seen go viral on Twitter, where they recreate some of our favorite animes and anime characters, as students of HBCUs, and that is so awesome. But in this episode, I get to talk to Erica, and I don't even know what to tell you guys, because this interview was one of the most funnest, most amazing times I've had in an interview. And I say that with all my interviews, but this interview in particular, like, I was ready to jump on a plane and go meet Erica in person, because our chemistry was just out of this world in terms of what we like, what we're watching, how we handle situations. So much so that our conversation off air, before recording and after recording, I think we in total spoke over 2 hours, although the interview is nowhere near this long. I had to cut off a lot of parts because literally every single one of us would say something and we'd be like, oh my God, me too. Like, it's so crazy. I've never met someone who instantly we had so many things in common in like the best way possible. So I am so excited for you guys to listen to this interview. Erica is so amazing. She's so smart and she's so brilliant, and she's getting back into her YouTube game. She's also been tackling TikTok and just making so many funny and relatable TikToks, and she's doing cosplay, and she's also just making these incredibly edited anime videos that are so detailed and just makes you want to stop whatever you're doing and just completely just listen to everything that she has to say. So I hope that you guys enjoy this interview as much as I did. I literally am telling you that I immediately after I re-listened to this episode, because I just listened to it prior to recording this intro, and I hit up Erica and I'm like, we need to do a monthly segment. We need to do something together because our chemistry together is through the roof. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. We had such a great time. And if you're listening, please be sure to share using the hashtags TWOA, that's the Wonder of Anime, pod, POD, or use the hashtag, use the hashtag, use it in conjunction, PODIN, that's podin, and that just lets Black and POC people know that you are listening to a podcast created by a Black or POC person. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and you'll be hearing from me again very, very soon. I am here with Erica, also known as Tsunderi, right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Tsunderi. Yeah. You may have seen her. Actually, it's so funny because I saw your TikTok. This is why I can't do interviews. I saw your TikTok that you did, and I saw it on Twitter because I follow you. And then I saw it on TikTok, and then I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, girl, this TikTok is moving. But you may know her from the HBCU Anime YouTube page where she hosts their videos, and you sound fucking amazing, but our pre-recording, everything makes sense. And we'll get into that. And then you have your own YouTube channel where you are producing your own anime related content. And you are regularly in the anime clubhouse that be happening every week, every other week, right? You be in there too. Because I think that's how I started following you. And you're just everywhere. So I just wanted, I always tell my guests, how I always tell my listeners how I found my guests. And I just been finding everybody on Twitter. Like, oh, you like
Same.
anime? You're Black, you're a person of color. Like, let's get it
Same.
together.
And I'm like, follow, like, subscribe.
What? You have content, retweet. Let me turn on notifications because I just want to see all of us win. So I just been following you and I love everything that you're doing. And you seem,
oh my
now
God,
we just talked for like 20 minutes, but you just seem so down to earth. And I definitely wanted to talk to you and talk to just more women in this anime space, because I feel like I've had mostly women guests when it comes to creating anime content, but it's always like, we could use more. Like, come on down. So if you'd like to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, anything that I missed, or just start from the beginning.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. So yeah, I started Tsunderi a long time ago, about like 6 or 7 months ago. And then I had to go on hiatus for a bit because I had moved to a new city and I was broke after moving. I was like, man, I have no money to do anything. Right. And I was like, I got to pay for the furniture and all that myself. It doesn't just pop up. So I had to take a long break to get things squared away. And then I came back with my mid-spring anime review, which took me 5,000 years to edit. And and it's been kind of like a snowball thing. It's like I came back, I did my video. I started getting more involved in like Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse, and just, reaching out to other content creators just to have a sense of community, and also just to see what other people are doing, like what people are talking about. And then I was in a Twitter Spaces that King Vader was hosting, and Evan from HBCU Anime, he started talking, and I was like, HBCU Anime, that sounds cool. So I clicked on their Twitter, and I love the content. Like, they have the crossovers between HBCUs and anime characters. I was like, this is very niche content. I love it. So I followed them. They followed me back. And then one day Evan had tweeted that he wanted to watch Invincible on Amazon, but he didn't have Amazon Prime. And I had just finished Invincible. So I'm like, I'm spreading the Invincible agenda right now. So I showed him, I was like, hey, here's where you can watch it. I got you. And then he's like, I saw your Avatar. I did a video about anime influences in the Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he's like, oh, I saw your video about Avatar, and like your editing skills are really cool. Would you want to do stuff for us? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And from there is where I started seeing like Black anime podcasts, Blanime, Spicy Lady, your content. And it just kind of went from there. And now I feel like I'm in like this really cool community, and I'm just really excited.
Yes, I love that. I've actually had Evan on the podcast when he was when I had Black Anime podcast on. Then it was probably around the time that HBCU Anime was just like getting started. Did you go to HBCU?
I didn't, and that's why I was like, I had told him, I was like, I didn't go to an HBCU. It was something like, it wasn't something that I never thought about. It was just, when I was in high school, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go to college. So the first place I was like, hey girl, we want you. I was like, okay. And I went.
Listen, I had no idea HBCU colleges existed. And the reason, I literally, like, my high school career, literally my senior year, I was like, oh, if I don't get it together, like, I'm not going to go to college. I was like, I literally had like such a terrible, because I was literally so indifferent. And I also, fun fact, had depression and didn't know that I had depression,
Listen,
mental health.
I get it.
So listen, I literally,
I can talk about depression forever.
Girl, you know how we cope. So
I
had no idea. Sad girl shit. Sad girl summer. But I had no idea, like, and then when I was in college, I went to a PWI, and then I learned about HBCUs, and I was like, this shit could have been so lit, and I'm here in this white people surrounded area.
I wish I had
my school, it just seems like so just awesome, and being like with your people.
I wish I had gone, because the college that I went to, I kind of thought that because it was a majority like Black and Latino college, because I went to college in Miami, I thought like, oh, it's technically like a PWI, but not really, right? Because we're all like, a lot of us are people of color. A lot of like the students are international students from different countries. And that is when I got the hit in the head like, oh, girl, anti-blackness is worldwide. It don't matter where they're
Yes.
Because like I'm Puerto Rican and black, and so I thought when I went to my school that it was gonna be, I don't know. I just thought it'd be. I thought it wouldn't be something I had to really deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Man, anti-blackness in the Latin American community. I could talk about that all day.
Especially Florida, especially Miami with the Cubans that are like they're supporters. My sister lives in Miami, so I just be like, who do y'all think you are? But
I wish I had gone to an HBCU. I would have had a different experience. But
it is very like I think it's important for people to acknowledge like I'm Dominican, so you have the Dominicans are black, Dominicans aren't black conversation, and I'm just like, listen, y'all, I don't know what to tell you. My daddy look white as hell. My mama don't. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But I similarly went to like a PWI that did have a lot of, I wouldn't say like, they definitely had more white people, but it did have like a really strong knit group of Black and Latino students, mostly Black students. Like a lot of them, I'm in Pennsylvania, so a lot of them came from that Philly area. So then you build like the community with them. But it definitely, even still, I feel like the way HBCUs are structured, where the staff is Black or people of color, and the whole system is set to build you up, as opposed to like a PWI still benefits from, white people and like feeds white supremacy.
Yes. Then you can go to an HBCU and just be a student and not be like feel like a token, like you're a student and that's it. Yeah. Sometimes I think about it like, man, if I could do it over again, I would.
Listen, I think that too, but I also, then I'm like, those experiences make your life. And then you're like better too, because I also know people who've gone to HBCUs and because they were having so much fun, or they couldn't focus and they kind of needed to like step back and not be in that experience. Like, they say everything isn't for everyone, but I think it's always cool that like now more people are being informed. And I love the HBCU anime because, like I said, I know about high school and anime. I mean, I know about anime in high school. I didn't know about HBCUs. I would have, now somebody who's probably following that Twitter or following that YouTube channel is like, what's an HBCU? Like, why, what is this? Why are all my favorite anime characters Black and wearing like letters and stuff? And then they're like, oh shit, like, this is what that is.
The art is by Ace, and just the vision that Evan has and the way that Ace brings it to life, and the fact that I get to be a part of it for like the video content and all that stuff. I'm just so excited. Like, I just think it's so cool. I haven't seen anything like it. No. And one of the things too with being like, it's great to see like more Black anime content creators, because something I've noticed with a lot of like the bigger like mainstream content creators, a lot of them are like white or at the very least just like not Black. And sometimes they'll say or do some stuff that makes me feel kind of like uncomfortable. Like, I don't like that. That doesn't, like, you ever see that? Like that feels a little bit problematic. So it kind of alienates people, I feel, from getting into anime. So then when I see content like HBCU anime, when I see Black anime podcasts, when I see the one, oh my God, I was like the wonderful world of, when I see the world of anime, I always call it the wonderful world of anime. I don't, in my head.
I love that too. I'll trademark it. I'll add it on the list.
Like when I see that, it's like, there are people who want to get into anime who finally have people who look like them, who can kind of bring them this content and introduce them to this medium in a way that is relatable and doesn't alienate them or make them feel weird. Like, I mean, you've seen how crazy like Anna Twitter can get.
Girl, that's crazy. Like it is. I completely understand, because I don't know if you remember Tumblr. Like when Tumblr was I mean, listen, I just came out the closet that I had 2 fan anime Tumblrs. My friend was like, I used to follow you on Tumblr. I had no idea you were in 2 other accounts. I was like, girl, that's my secret life. But I wanted to get into cosplay since high school. And I graduated, for contents for people, I graduated high school in 2011. So probably like 2008, 9, like I was super big into Tumblr, and I would always want to get into cosplays. I literally saw 0 people that looked like me cosplaying. I didn't see, and I'm in a city primarily Black and Latino. So all my friends are Black and Latino. Like I don't have white friends. So I'm like, I'm not seeing, like, I'm seeing this on Tumblr. It's not translating to my real life. I only met one person in real life that cosplayed and they were white. And I just met them because of a job. So you see those, you don't feel those messages like you're welcomed in that community, or you see like the level of cosplay that people are doing. And I'm like, well, you have all these resources that, you know, a lot of people don't have access to. You know, you can take sewing classes, or your parents can help you pay. My parents would be like, girl, what a costume? No, girl, it's not Halloween. Get over it.
You can go and buy all the materials and the dress and the this and the that and put it together, and then you can afford the really expensive con tickets to go and like cosplay at. Like, it's different.
You have somebody who has a nice camera that can, you know, back then ain't nobody, now we have the iPhone. Nobody had that stuff back then. So it is that, like, you seeing that representation. And I've interviewed a couple of cosplayers previously, and I'm just like, I love seeing you, because that inspired me to actually be like, girl, I could do this from home. Doesn't matter, I don't look exactly like the character. Doesn't matter, this is a closet cosplay. But until you see yourself in it, it's not, you don't feel welcomed.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Like, one of my friends was talking to me about how he wants to get into anime, but then he sees some of like the really big anime YouTubers, and he's like, yeah, it doesn't connect with me. So I started showing him like all the people that I follow. I'm a huge fan of Get in the Robot. They're actually the ones that inspired me to start a channel. They go by Beyond the Bot now.
Yes,
with Yadoye and all him.
I went to a comedy show and I met Yadoye, and I forced him to stand next to me in a picture. I was like,
so funny.
He is amazing. But I actually discovered them through another anime podcast, The Anime Tea, because she talked about them in my podcast. Yes, and she was also inspired by them. So, but by the time that like me and her had that interview, that's when they branched off to Beyond the Bot. So I'm like a newer follower. Like, I didn't see like their other stuff, but now I've been following. But they're so awesome. And you see people who look like you talking about anime.
Yes. Yes. So I show them to my friends who are like not white, who are looking for people who look like them or have like a similar, like being a person of color, have that experience. And now they're like finding anime that they really enjoy through them. So it's really important, and I'm just, I can talk about that forever. I'm just really excited to be part of that.
it feels good, and I've listeners know I've said this in a couple different like interviews. Like, I have a best friend that we're just like, we see something, we're like, yo, that show's crazy, da-da-da-da. And then you like go listen to a podcast from anime, you know, somebody that is white, and they're like, that power, and you're just like, that's not, me and my friends don't talk like this. Like, that's not how we would have reacted to this scene or this deku or whatever. Like, so when you hear people like especially like Blandame, I love listening to Blandame, like Mike and Tsunderi talking about anime, because I'm like, you guys sound like me and my best friend when we talk about anime, or the discussions in the timeline. Like, that's when you're like, all right, like, this is what people do. Like, this is what feels like I know now.
They have me dying in the Anime After Dark every night. I know my neighbors like probably hear me just cracking up because the walls in this apartment are thin. So I know they hear me just cracking up until like 1 a.m. I'm like, they killing me.
Listen, them club, I like listened, I think twice, and like I have a Clubhouse. I never like got on it like that. I went one time, I was like, and they invited me to the stage. They were like, let's see. I was like, hey guys, and then I never went back. I was like, it's just late. I got to go to work the next morning. I support y'all. I'll retweet. And then I'd be on the timeline. I'm like, I could kind of piece together what's happening. But it'd be too much, because the one day I was like, oh, I'm going to just pop my head in. It was like an hour later. I was like, girl, it was like 12. I was like, I need to go to sleep. But
I'm missing it tonight because I have to work on my next video.
How dare you? I'm just kidding.
No.
How dare
I wanted
you
to go.
Work?
I was like...
Yes. So before I get into your own personal and like making anime content, and this is how you know we just been vibing, because I usually, this is like my first question. How did you get into anime? What has your anime weave journey been like?
I got into anime when I was really young. My first ever anime was Sailor Moon, and I'm pretty sure it was before I even started elementary school. I think I was like 3 or 4. And it's funny because I think my sister was into Sailor Moon first, but she was never really big in anime. She just liked Sailor Moon. And she's older than me, so I always got her hand-me-downs. So her old VHS tapes and stuff, like, they became my VHS tapes when I was a kid. And then my mom I was in the house a lot because the neighborhood that I lived in was majority white and they were very racist and I didn't have any friends. And so I was in the house like by myself a lot because both my parents worked. So my mom would go out to like Blockbusters or whatever and try to find stuff that looked like something a kid would want to watch just to keep me occupied. So I think she saw Sailor Moon, was like, oh, like my oldest daughter likes this, and spun out a bunch of like magical girls, and yeah, my kid will like it. She doesn't know that started me off like a full-blown addiction. Like
she was the supplier.
Like that was it. I was like, I want more of this. My cats are knocking stuff over. I want more of this. And so yeah, like start off with Sailor Moon, and then from there, like 4Kids was like really big when I was younger, or WB and 4Kids, and then Toonami. So I was watching like Yu-Gi-Oh was my obsession. I had a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon, and then I think what really like cemented my anime addiction for real was Yu Yu Hakusho, which to this day stays like my favorite anime in the world. I can talk about it a million times. It's my favorite show. And it just went from there. And because I was in the house a lot, so I would just find stuff to do. And then when my parents got when my parents gave all the kids like access to the one computer that we had in the home, because at first it was just for my sister for her schoolwork, and then they're like, okay, we feel like you guys are old enough that we can trust you on the internet, so we're gonna put this in the living room. If you guys want to play computer games or something, you can. I'm like, I'm going to stream everything. So I'll be on there for like 5 hours, like just watching AMVs, finishing Yu Yu Hakusho. I watched Hell Girl, Karakano, Peach Girl. I don't know, like all these different shows just for hours and hours. At School Rumble for just hours and hours and hours. And it's just been like that. Like I would just stream, and then here I am now.
You'd have like 5 tabs open because you had part 1, and then while part 1 was loading, you had part 2 of 3, and then you had the next episode loading. Like,
yeah. And back then, anime was so hard to access compared to now. So you had to go on like some really sketchy websites to find the stuff that you needed. And yeah, it was different. It was different.
It was real. Listen, the struggle was real. Like, I'm so proud of people getting into anime now. I like was like, oh my God, like, yay. Like, I'm happy for you guys, but like, you do not know the struggles. I mean, people now still pirate because some people are like, I'm not going to pay for this, which I get, whatever, do you? But like back then, oh my God, I remember I would be in like these like chat, like you remember like forums, like before Tumblr.
Yes.
And the forum was like, oh, we're going to talk about episode 5 of this anime. And you're just like, I would discover new animes based on people's little icons and signatures in the forum. Yep. And I'm just like, oh, this looks cute. Like, I want to watch this. Like, listen, we come a long way.
Oh my gosh. It was weird because it's like there was not that much access to anime, but also like YouTube was a lawless land back then. So people would like upload full episodes every now and then. Like you could catch like full episodes of Naruto on YouTube. Like it was no one's business. And now with all like these copyright, all these different things, it's like it's different. Like you have Netflix and Hulu and all these things. And pirating has gone a bit easier too, for being honest. But YouTube used to be the spot for me. I used to watch so like full shows on there.
They would have like full movies. Like YouTube had everything. Like I would just remember just like, oh, I'm gonna leave the computer on, let it load, and just walk away and come back. And then I like I remember there's like Comcast is in my area, so we had like, you remember like On Demand when On Demand came out?
Yes, that's how I found some stuff too. Death Note, that's how I found Death Note.
So they would have they had like an anime network. It was called Anime Network. And what they would do is On Demand, they would give you like the first 2 episodes free. And then if you wanted to watch the rest, you would have to like subscribe to their channel or whatever, add it to your package. And then they'd have 2 episodes, then they'd have a new show to the first 2 episodes of those shows. So I would like catch it there, and then I'd have to go online and be like, what was the ending of this? Whatever happened? And then go on, find the episodes on YouTube or something, or like Kiss Anime, Crunchyroll, when Crunchyroll was not a legal streaming site.
People forget that it was not legal for a while. People forget about that. I remember.
Listen, it was not like this stuff now. If not, you guys should listen to the podcast Anime in America, hosted by Yodoya Travis, who I stand. That also, he talks a lot about, and they actually interview like the Crunchyroll people about how it started as an illegal streaming site. And then they kind of were like, hey, we've been doing this illegally, but like, let's team up.
Look.
We've been doing it wrong, but let's do it right now. And I'm just like, I get it. I feels you. I would have tried that too. It's worth a shot. Like,
hey, it's either that or get shut down like Kiss Anime did for a bit. So
I feel like they just got shut down recently. Did they come back? They probably back under some mirrors.
They got shut down, but there's always a way. My friend told me that he found them again, and he's like, but it's like a new link. And I'm like, okay, just use my Funimation account, man.
At this point, I don't pirate, pure laziness. Like, no judgment if people pirate. I literally don't got the time, girl. Like, Beastars 2, I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch it, like, as it's coming out in Japan. I, like, searched one time. I was like, nope, I could wait till June. June's here. It's coming out. I'm ready. But yeah, I just gave up pure laziness. I am so... Beast? Right. Listen, I was one of those, like, my friend, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. My friend was like, girl, no, you're going to love it. And then I was like, oh my God, I love it. I binge that so quick. And I be trying to lay off the binging because I have an addictive personality and I will stay up all night and I got work the next day. Like,
it's like, you'll sit here like, I have stuff to do today. I'm just going to watch like one episode. Next thing you know, it's like 6 hours past. You've done nothing. You haven't eaten yet.
You're like, that was me last night. I was like, I had to wake up at 6 o'clock this morning and I was reading manga until 3. Like,
that's why I'm behind on my video, because I started binging the Fate series and I was like, dang it, no. Yes. I need to edit, but I need to know what's going on with these people.
Listen, I have videos to record and I have them all planned out, ready to go. And I was like, I could sit down, do my makeup and record this, or I could read more manga. Which is the one that I'm gonna do? I'm gonna read more manga.
If you look at it as like research for your channel, that's how I always see it as. Like, I'm an anime content creator. I have to consume the product.
Yes, exactly. So what aside from like, you know, seeing all this other like anime content creators, what made you take the leap for you to be like, all right, I want to join this conversation. I want to be in this space now.
So like we had talked about it earlier, I used to be like a digital journalist at a TV station. And I got to do some content creation for them. I did like some YouTube videos, some social media stuff, but it was for, you know, a TV station. They have a very specific audience. So it was it's Jacksonville. So it was veterans, white moms in their 40s, you know, stuff like that. So the content I was creating for them, I didn't care for it. And I felt so unfulfilled. And one day I was just like going down like memory lane and stuff. I used to have like a blog that I would run when I was in high school. I would go out to like local concerts and interview local bands. And I had some YouTube videos up for them.
That's so awesome.
It was fun. And I did that for a while, from the time I was like 16 up until I was like 19 or 20 in college. And then I just, you know, I didn't have time anymore. So I had stopped doing it. And I was just looking at old videos. I was like, man, high school Erica and early 20s Erica had like she had guts. Like, if she wanted to do something, if she was bored, if she wanted to make content that she cared about, she just went and did it. And like, here I am, sad at this job. I was also just very sad. I just started thinking, I was like, well, you know, why not just do it again? Like, why not create content that you enjoy as sort of like a release, as just something that makes you happy? Because at the time, the job that I had, I was like, I need money. And this job does give me some money at least. So might as well do something that makes me happy, you know, in my off time. So I make my like purchases like late at night, because at night, like, you know, like late at night, you're not thinking. So you just put stuff in your cart and purchase. So I was up So I was like up at like 11 p.m., 12, like I was talking about like midnight. And I'm like on Amazon. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna buy a ring light. Here's a microphone, and I think we're good. And I looked at my phone. I was like, I could shoot stuff on my phone. All right. And then it came in the mail, and I was like, well, I'm not going to waste this money. So I just started doing videos. And my first video was anime that influenced Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I had so much fun doing it. I had fun researching it. I had fun editing it. I had fun recording. I had fun talking to like people about it. And I finally felt like happy again. Like I had a hobby that I really enjoyed. And then I had to stop for a while when I moved. And then once I restarted again, because I got sad after we moved too, because I don't have any friends or family in this new city. Like I'm starting to make friends now, but before, when I first got here, I didn't know anybody. And I am also depressed. So, I was like, I'm sad. I need to do something before things get really dark here. So I started recording videos again, and I've just been so happy. Like it makes me so happy to do. And that was it. It was just me wanting to be happy and create stuff that I enjoyed, and just to have something to look forward to in the day. Like I look forward to editing. I complain about editing a lot on Twitter because editing is a bitch, but like I look forward to doing it still. So yeah, I feel like I'm long-winded, but yeah.
No, I love it. And prior to recording, we have similar backgrounds with like media and stuff. And it definitely is, especially when you go like from creating stuff for other people, like that just fuels your passion more for creating for yourself. And, it's funny because like my parents, like they'd be like, oh yeah, you doing the YouTube and this. And they're like, a lot of people watch you. And I'd be like, this video has 30 views. And I'd be like, oh my God, I got 31. Yes. Like the little wins, like when you're a content creator, like that's what it really, like, of course, everybody's like, I would love to go viral and do this or that. But like the way that you just express yourself and to have that outlet where you're literally like, this is coming from my mind and I'm putting it out there and like creating this. And the research is fun because what research we be doing now?
Watching shows, reading manga, Googling stuff that we're excited to know about.
Whose voice? Why does this? Oh, that actor. All right. Then I'm on a Wikipedia hole for 10 hours. Like, oh, the actor also did XYZ. So
it's like, I do this anyway for fun. I might as well do this for you too.
Yes. And it's just like, as a content creator, like I love hearing that because like today I worked all day and I was like so looking forward to this interview because I'm like, yes, like I love talking to people. Girl, see, we here. I knew we was here the moment we started DMing, but like I'm like, oh, I love looking forward to this. Like I really like consider the people that I talk to on my podcast like my friends. Like afterwards, like we're friends now. Like, and it's like that stuff like is what people are like. How do you manage time and you work? And it's like you make time for these things because they do make you happy and like it feels good. Especially
like you want to do
depression.
It. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like you want to do it. And yeah. And the thing is too, like just I guess like talking about like depression, because it's like it just popped up in my head about something. Like there's anime out there that helps me like process like, oh, this is not a healthy coping mechanism. This is depression. This is what my therapist is talking about. This is a real thing. Like Fruits Basket. This Fruits Basket. There are times.
It just cracks me up because I've read Fruits Basket in high school. I saw the original anime. I was like, what is this? I love it. Read the manga. I was like, oh my God, I hate the original anime. And I reread the manga like every single year. So when the new Fruits Basket came out, I've been so slow because I know it's true to the manga. I know that manga back and forth. But now because it's coming to an end, like my phone be blown up. Like I have like 3 friends like, girl, this last episode. And because I already know that what's happening, I'm like, I feel you. Like, I know. Let's talk it out. They're like, I'm crying at work. I'm like, me too, girl. Because now I'm remembering it. So when you said Fruits Basket, I'm just like, especially this week, like I got a text like at 1:00 in the morning and they're like, I'm here sobbing. And I'm like, coming.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. We have water over here. We have some crackers over here. Have fun.
Here's a blanket.
Like, here's a blanket. You're going to need it and some tissues. It's just like having something that I look forward to doing, having just shows that resonate with me and being able to talk to people about why they resonate with me. It just fills me with like a type of joy because for a while I was having a hard time finding joy in doing a lot of stuff like, I don't know, painting or drawing, or I like to write. And I was just having a hard time really finding the joy in it. And then like doing this, it's just been like I wake up in the morning, like, ooh, right after work or during my lunch break, I'm going to record this. I'm going to go research that. I'm just excited. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been great. I feel like if there's something that one thing that this has taught me is that if there's something that you want to pursue, even if, I see YouTubers that have crazy equipment and, money out the ass to have like these nice backgrounds and these perfect editing and amazing equipment and stuff. I don't have that. And I felt like, oh, maybe it's not a good idea. Just do it. Who cares? If you're happy at the end of it, if it gives you some type of joy, you're doing it right. Just do it.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And it reminded me, I had Jalitza she was in the Horimiya anime. She voices Remy. I had her recently on the podcast and she was talking about her demo. Yeah, she's the best. I just love her so much. Yeah, she's so sweet. She's so cute. But she was talking about that when she did her demo, like she kind of was like, oh, I should wait till I like get equipment. And then one day she was like, F it, like I'm just going to grab my iPhone. It has a voice recording app. And that was the first demo that she did. And it's like, I tell this to people all the time, because prior to Anime Podcast, I had a regular, people could go on the archives. I had a regular podcast. I talked to real people here in my hometown. And there would always be people like, oh, I want to start a podcast. So I was like, bet. I started a workshop teaching people how to do a podcast. And I'd have so many people interested, blah, 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 blah. Out of the people who came to the workshop, I can't tell you who has a podcast now because, I need to get the equipment. I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on that. And it's like, what you're actually doing is creating excuses. So when you don't live up to your own standards and your expectations, you can blame something else instead of taking accountability for your own actions because you're afraid of what could happen on the other side.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not going to be perfect the first time that you do it. Your first video, your first podcast, your first TikTok, whatever, it's not going to be perfect when you do it, and not starting. It's like, at least if you do it and it's not perfect, at least you have a starting point. Mm-hmm. If you don't do it, if you just let these ideas float around in the ether, you got nothing,
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't try, I feel like that's how kind of what happened with radio, where I was like, oh my God, I wanted to be a radio personality. Da, 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 da. And I still think I would be a bomb radio personality. But
definitely, you have the voice for it for sure.
Thanks. But if I didn't work at the radio station, I would have never known that the radio culture isn't for me. You know what I mean? And instead of wondering, oh, what if? Like, now I know, like, I could do it, but I can't deal with racist trolls, or I can't, I can't deal with certain aspects of it. But like, you have to start. Like, you have to get to that part where you
have to do it.
And I think it's important. Like, one thing that you mentioned that I think is, I love your perspective of it, is seeing other creators motivated you. Because a lot of people take that and then instead of motivation, they take it as like fear. And they're like, oh, well, Erica already got her channel and HBCU Anime is doing this. And it's like, nah, come through. We all fit here. Come on over.
Yeah. And on top of that, like when you get started, this is something that I didn't expect, was like getting started and meeting like virtually, obviously, like so many other like content creators and seeing the stuff that they do. One thing I didn't expect was meeting all these different content creators, and I would not have gone in touch with them if I hadn't started. And through them is how I started getting more followers. It's how I started getting kind of like more ideas and more encouragement. Everybody here is so encouraging and sweet, like so kind. I saw Christopher Dillon. He's like a YouTuber. I don't know if you've seen him. He pops up like he does like really cool videos and stuff. He's like a YouTuber that I've been following for like a few years now, and he shared a tweet when I was like, oh, if I get to 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a cosplay. And he shared, he's like, help her cosplay. And I'm like, I don't even know you. You don't even know me, and you did that. Like, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing that kind of support. It's like you're not gonna meet other people who are kind of in the same boat as you, and you're not going to make these connections if you don't get started. There's so many benefits just starting, even if it's not perfect. And you'll see too, if you look at like YouTubers who are, really big, right? The Anime Man, he's like one of the biggest YouTubers for anime content. And I know his real name is Joe something. If you look at his older videos, horrible. They're like, the quality is not good, but he started. And from there, he's able to get better. So yeah, just do it, man. Just do it.
Yeah, like the people who, you think like, oh, like these people are competition or these people would never like support me or whatever, they end up being some of your biggest supporters or just like so welcoming. And I want to say specifically, because this has been specifically my experience, the Black and other content creators who are people of color. I cannot speak for other people because I don't know what the white people be doing, but I can say like I built so many connections. And like one of my favorite podcasts, Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast with Victoria, me, her, mad cool now. And she has given me such a wealth of knowledge. And I would have never had that if I kind of was like, you know, I'd be scared to shoot my shot with people. I'd be like, okay, let me send this DM. Like, and then it's like, you never know, like just ask. Cause if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. But it is important, I think, for people to see that, because I think too, and a lot of people don't realize this, like sometimes the fan bases of certain communities, like that could make or break somebody wanting to like check something out. Like I know for a long time, like I watched Game of Thrones super late because I was just kind of like, this fan base a little extra. Then I watched it and I got it. But a lot of people don't realize like the fan base can really make or break your decision to want to participate, especially now with COVID. I feel like COVID really helped the anime community really come together.
Yeah, like
we was all home watching
anime.
By
ourselves watching anime. We got to talk to somebody about this. Like we have to talk about what we're watching to someone.
Sometimes like I just tweet, like I'll do live tweets of series. So I have a bunch bookmarked. And I'm like I did the Attack on Titan one because I saw the first season years ago and then I never like caught up. So this January, I was like, I'm catching.
We are the same. Oh my God. We are the same. That was me.
Listen, we are here. What is your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Bitch, what's your birthday?
February 5th.
You're not going to believe this.
No way.
Mine's is February 4th.
No way. No.
Yes.
I felt like we were so in sync. That's so crazy.
Listen.
That is crazy. I'm dead.
I'm leaving that in.
Yes, leave it in.
Listen, everything, the stars have aligned.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so I didn't watch Attack on Titan until this year. And I was like, all right, I'm going to binge it from season 1. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not going to do a lot because I'll do live threads like JJK or whatever, current stuff. And I was like, let me just do this, whatever. Even though it's old, I think around the 2nd or 3rd season, I was like, all right, guys. Because I was like, I'm not going to live tweet this because everybody already caught up. Then I started doing it and I was like, okay, I had some thoughts. Let me do a thread. And then it's so funny because people who've been watching it, they were like, yo, I can't wait for you to get to I can't wait for you to watch. And I'm just like, in my tweets, like, what the fuck is happening? And they're like, girl, you don't even know. Or they're like, yo, that part was crazy. So it's like, you don't know who's like interacting. Like it was even people who weren't following me, but that sense of camaraderie where you're, especially with Attack on Titan, where you feel like you're insane. Like, especially binging it.
It's
like,
suffering.
I remember it is, I had interviewed Blanime. So I interviewed Mike and Sine and we were talking about it on the interview. And Sine I was like, I feel like I'm crazy. I was like, I cannot stop thinking about it. She's like, cause you're watching it and like you're binging it. She's like, the rest of us watched it week by week, episode by episode. You're watching a whole season in one night. She's like, of course you're going crazy. And I was like, now that makes sense. Cause I feel like I'm going, like, I literally was like, my husband will come home. I'll be like, you don't understand. Like, this is the plot and this is and he will be like, cool, babe. All right.
Because you're like, you're watching this descent into madness very quickly versus getting it kind of spoon fed to you once a week, you know? And then, that's how I felt. Cause I watched the first season when it first came out. And then I don't know why, but I always got to the part where they introduced Hanji and I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't get past it. Hanji ended up being one of my faves and love her so much, deserves the world. And it was like, finally, like it was like the pandemic. I have nothing else to do. I'm like, let me, and I started seeing people talking about how good it was. And I was like, let me get into this because I feel like I'm a fake weeb if I don't get into this real quick. And I started binging it. And I felt like I was going insane. It's like, there's way too much happening in such a short period of time. But it's like, no, it's not that it's a short period of time. It's that I'm watching it in a short period of time. Like you're seeing this massive amount of character development and people dying and all this stuff in like 4 hours. You're not supposed to do that.
Right. And there's years in between the seasons. Yes. So like, that's why I fell off. Cause I saw season 1 as it was coming out week to week. And then it was done for like 2-3 years. Season 2 didn't come out. And I was like, by the time season 2, I didn't remember shit from season 1. I was like, whatever. So then now it's like people had years to process this, and I'm like, oh no, like I need to like I'm going crazy. Even still, like I'll just have moments where I'm like staring off into the distance and I'm like, damn, that one part from episode whatever still hits.
I still think about Gabby a lot. Because I don't want to spoil things for people who are like, anime
Spoiler
only.
alert.
Oh, can I?
Oh wait, no, wait. If it's manga, I don't want to talk about it.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm not. Okay. Nothing.
But I will say, spoiler for season 4 anime part 1. Fuck Gabby. Like fuck Gabby.
Okay,
fuck Gabby.
yeah. Because Sasha, if you ever want to know what kind of person I am, it's like Sasha. Sasha is me. I'm very crazy about my food. Don't touch my food. I love potatoes, French fries, baked potatoes, all that good stuff. Give me the starch. I love it. And
listen, points were made.
And when Sasha at her time, I was like,
listen.
I never wanted to fight a kid so bad in my life.
And I will be sure to put in my intro that there's spoilers for people and timestamps once this is edited. But I literally the part that annoyed me was with Zeke. And it's so funny because I was like going to do a video about it, but I was like, I'm too emotional. I need to calm down before I do a video about this. Like I had my friends that watched it because I was like, season 4 had me on. Like I was like, no, I cannot. Like this is way too much for my anxiety. So I would let like an episode or 2 and then watch it. So I was like not freaking out as much. And then people were like, when the Zeke background story came out, like my friends were like, girl, you gon', because I'll be like, fuck Zeke, fuck this man, fuck you and your mom and your dad. And then people were like, girl, that Zeke episode gonna change. So I'm like watching the Zeke episode, looking at the backstory, waiting, the credits roll. And I was like, did I miss the part that was supposed to make me feel
I feel
bad
nothing for this man.
Nothing. I literally was like,
I'm Team Levi on that.
I was like, I don't care what Zeke, like, oh, boo-hoo, my parents suck. Bitch, people's parents were being eaten. You think that justifies? Like,
sir,
no,
you were throwing rocks at people. I don't want to hear it.
In a baseball stance.
He was having fun throwing rocks at people. I don't want to hear it. Like any type of sympathy you want me to have, gone. When that one dude was like on his horse, this is what got me. When he was on his horse,
yes,
when he was thinking about that girl, I forgot her name. He's about that girl. He was just like, oh, he's like, I'm gonna die, and she's probably at home sleeping. Wow, why am I thinking about her? And I'm like, it's because you love her, but you're never gonna get to act on it because Zeke is a dick. I'm so upset.
Listen, like Zeke, fuck you for life.
You destroyed whole families. I want to hear it.
Clearly we're here. We are here. I'm glad somebody understands because and it wasn't just my friends. I've seen some people in the timeline like, wow, that Zeke story wild. I was like, and you know who else's backstory is wild? Aaron. Is Aaron problematic? And I know I'm only anime only, but I'm gonna just say this. I'm trusting. I feel like it ain't in vain. For me personally, there's something else. Whoever don't see that, we're going to have to see at the end of December. And the funny thing is that I have all of the manga. Like,
really?
But I have this thing where if it is still airing, I can't read the manga. Like, I have to watch all the anime because the manga is either going to be supreme and it's going to make me love it more, or I'm going to be like, wow, the anime is definitely better. But if I read it first, I'm not going to want to watch the anime. Like I for some reason, like I'm very, like I love manga. I don't always need to see that. I'm like, nah. So if it's animated, I make sure to watch the anime first because
I'm the kind of, if I'm watching it, like.
Do you go look at the chapter? You'd be like, okay, this ended here. Let me go to chapter 300.
Yeah. It's like some people can like read the manga and watch the show like alongside each other. And I can't do that because then, so like, for example, right now I'm reading the manga for My Hero Academia because I just want to see what people are talking about with Deku. And also I was getting spoilers on Twitter anyway, because people are ruthless.
Girl, you got to put the mute option with the keywords. You got to mute.
That's
everything.
What I'm learning is like, I need to like, but then sometimes they'll post, like they won't have like anything, like the text.
They'll put a screenshot.
And I'm like, see now you're not being fair. But
now you're reported. I'm telling Twitter this is
reported and
Jack,
blocked.
where are you?
Reported and blocked. No, so I'm like reading like the My Hero Academia manga, and because of that, I haven't been able to watch the new season that much because I already have seen it. So it's like I'm watching, I'm like, and the manga follows, or I'm sorry, the show follows the manga pretty closely for the most part. I know they're switching around arcs apparently for this next thing. So I'm watching and I'm like, I already read this. So I don't want to say I've dropped the show, but I'm giving the show a break while I get through this manga because I'm invested in the manga now because things are going crazy.
Right. That's another one that's on my list to get because I've let the episodes stack up because I was doing like weekly stuff, but then I'm like, girl, I'm doing too much. So I was like, My Hero is one of my favorite because also with My Hero, I got into My Hero like before, like pre-COVID, I got into it like 2020. So I was on when season 4 was airing. I was like watching it with season 4, but prior to that, I hadn't been watching it, and I was like binging it because then everything is there, like the cliffhanger. Psych, bitch! Next episode, we here.
Yeah,
week to week, it'd be a struggle. I never used to watch week to week, but I started to last year, and I'm like, I could see the good in watching it week to week, but then I'm like,
but then you're spending all week thinking like, oh my God, how are they going to do this? Like, how are they going to beat this person or do this like the next episode? Because that's how I was. What show had me like that? Oh, I can't remember what show had me like that. I think it's been Tokyo Revengers that's been having me like that, where I'm like,
oh, I need another one. I let stack. I saw the first episode and I just let it stack right now.
Do that.
I need a good weekend to binge.
Do that because I've been doing like the week to week, and when I do that, the rest of the week I'm just like, so how is Takamichi gonna get out of this? How are we gonna do this? I hurry up and bring me my episode. Hurry up.
Yeah, you're just like, what is this? And like with the that's how I felt with JJK, but I'm so glad that I also watched it week to week because then like I don't usually rewatch anime, but Jujutsu Kaisen was just so good that I would rewatch the episode. I never do that because I'm just like, it's just my memory. Like I have really good memory, so I don't need to rewatch it because I remember. But I literally was like, again.
Some scenes you just want to see again.
Some scenes you just need to like. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Okay, so I say that because I was late to the game, and that's fine. I watched that also in 2019. Like 2019 was a really resurgent year for me, and the last episode,
I'm convinced.
we are the last episode. No lie, I watch it every month. Like the half of the part, again, spoilers for people who have not seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, although it's been 10 years. Yeah. So the part where Al sacrifices his arm, like that whole sequence, girl, like I get like I'm gonna have to watch it after this. Like I get goosebumps like from there, and then I watch like the last episode till the fight is over, and then like they bring Al back. Like that specific part, I have to watch it every month because like I'm still not over it. And the fact that like every time I watch it, like I pick up on other stuff because like the first time I was so into it, the second time I'm like, oh shit, Ed's arm is like depreciated. Like it's so tiny, it's so skinny. And then the way that he plans it out and Ming, and I'm just like, oh, this show is everything. Like
I like rewatching their little proposal to each other. He's like,
yes, the end.
I'll give you my half of my life in exchange. I'm like, y'all are so weird. Just say you love each other and want to spend together, like forever or whatever.
Do you have any upcoming anime that are coming out that either summer, fall, winter that you are looking forward to?
Chainsaw Man.
Yes, that's why I said it because
I'm ready.
I want to see that.
I am ready.
Have you read the manga?
Yes. I am excited for the listen. Mm-mm. Okay, so
but it looks good as shit.
Yes. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but the thing is with the manga is the pacing is the pacing is so different from other stuff that you would see in Shonen Jump, but just in like most manga period, like the pacing is so different. It really subverts like a lot of like shonen tropes, and it feels more like seinen than shonen sometimes, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to see it animated because one, I want to see how they're going to handle pacing in like an actual like TV show format, and two, people are not ready. People are not ready for what this show is going to put you through. Like they are not ready. Like that's
I don't feel ready. I don't. Mm-mm.
I'm excited to watch it because of like the plot and the content, but also I just want to see I want to see TL like in shambles. Like I want to see how people are going to react. Like that's what I'm excited about. Because if you have not read it, you are not ready for the show. You are not ready. Because I wasn't ready when I read it.
See, and that's exactly why I don't want to, like, that's how, like, Jujutsu Kaisen, like, I had no idea what it was going into it, and it just, like, for me, just, also, again, also, I own Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, why am I like this? I buy everything that I love, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't read it yet. But anyways, I literally was not ready, and it just, like, was amazing. And I didn't think I would be into Jujutsu Kaisen, which was foolish of me, because I'm not into scary stuff, but it's, like, I love dark themes, like curses, and Clip has a lot of dark moments like that, which I love. Mm-hmm. So then I'm just like, all right. But then Chainsaw Man, I follow like a couple accounts that post like counting down to the trailer, because I think the trailer is coming out like soon.
5 days.
Yes. Like there's that, and I'm just like, I'm excited because some of the people look fine. Also, I do have attractions to 2D drawings. Listen, it is what it is.
I can talk about husbandos. I have a few.
Girl, all right. Gojo, where you at? Sukuna, come.
Right? Gojo is so fine. Nanami, I feel like he would get my life together. Like,
he would drag you. He would drag the shit out of you. Oh, you late to work again? Oh, so now you're going to have to work. You're not going to get paid overtime because you were late, though. You'd be like, yes, babe, you're right.
Someone had posted something on Twitter that had me dying. It was like they were out. They said this is gonna be me in front of Nanami's house, and it was like them with like a radio trying to get him to come outside. And someone said, "Nanami would call the police on you because you were interrupting him during his day off."
Yes, he's like, now I'm gonna have to work over. Listen, just I feel like everybody in Jujutsu Kaisen is fine. Like,
yes,
I see people like thirsting after curses. I'm like, I get it. Why the body?
They should have drawn them so well. Like, they didn't have to look like that. They should have made them ugly. If I wasn't supposed to thirst, why do they look like that?
Points were made. Agreed. Like, listen, especially now that I've been like super into like manga, and then I got into Josie manga, and now I'm in this yaoi manga. Like, I'm just like,
I'm trying to find more yaoi. I need to get into like more yaoi.
I'm gonna make some lists because I've been in there. But I saw this this TikTok that was like somebody crying, and they're like, me never gonna find an anime love or a manga love, and then it pans over and the husband's there, like, and I'm like, you don't understand. I want this fake ass love from this drawn comic that makes my heart beat.
That's how I feel like when I'm watching certain shows. Like, I'll see what like these men will do for their girls. I'm like, man, I want somebody to do that for me. Put your life on the line for me.
Did you watch Way of the House Husband?
Yes.
So I started it. I didn't finish it, but like the character, the animation, we all know what that feels like. But the character is just so fine to me. And have you seen the live action actor of that?
I heard he does the voice too for the sub.
Girl, let me DM you this man. Girl, fine is an understatement. Like,
gotta grab my phone.
Let me put live action. Like, who this man? This man, first of all, he looks like the character was drawn about him instead of like he was made for the show. Where's my Twitter? He's so fine that it is just insane. Like, it's illegal for somebody to be this fine.
I saw like,
so there's one picture.
I was reading the manga recently, and I got to a point where like he woke up without his glasses, and I was like, why do you look like this so fine? Let me see, what is, oh my God, this is his live action. First of all, he looks just like the character.
Why he's so fine? Let me send you another picture.
Why is there a child there? Did they have a kid in the live action?
No, I don't know if that's like a neighbor child. I mean, I haven't read the full manga.
Because in the manga, they don't have kids.
Yeah, I don't think it's a kid, but I wonder if it's like a neighbor.
I got like so offended. Like, is that their child? Is he cheating on me? How dare he?
Because he got a boo.
How dare he?
Like, my favorite manga, like Josie manga subgenre right now is the Yakuzas. And I'm like,
I need to start. I've been seeing like screenshots and stuff, and there are some husbandos I'm missing out on. So I need to start finding like my little Yakuza boos. Like,
listen, the Artist and the Beast. That man was fine.
I'm missing out. I need to start finding some new husbandos, because my number one husbando is Mikoto Suo from K. But
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's a I watched that show
Is
for
it
aesthetics.
K on?
It's just K. It's just like the letter
K.
Some people call it K Projects. I think that's what they called it in the animation studio, but it's just K. And
Let me do the Googles.
Mikoto Suo is a beautiful man. And I also like
Does
him.
He have white hair?
He has red hair and he doesn't talk.
Oh, excuse me.
So you see? And he doesn't really talk all that much. I'm like, oh yes, silence.
Love.
They don't talk.
So that's number one.
Yeah, that's my number one. My first ever husbando was what was his name? Ever seen like the OG Gundam series, like the original one? There's the main character from the OG Gundam series. His name is Hiro Ryu, and I just remember that he always had like a green tank top and a gun. And I was like 5 or 6 years old. I'm like, I am into this.
Listen,
don't know why.
I don't blame you. I was the person that had a crush on all the main love interests. Tuxedo Mask.
Yes.
Shaoran in Cardcaptor Sakura.
Oh my god.
Also, Toya in Cardcaptor Sakura could get it. Yukito in Cardcaptor Sakura could get it. Like
there had a lot of attractive people in Cardcaptor Sakura. Like everybody was very beautiful.
The entire cast.
Right.
Fine. I love Digimon season 1 and season 2. So that I was like, Taichi, that was Boo, that was big. I'm trying to think, like,
my mom used to always call him
definitely
Digiman. So my mom used to always call him Digiman.
Ila Pokemon, Ila Pikachu. I'm like, makes sense. But there's who I think right now I would say my husbando, definitely Gojo, because I am obsessed with him.
He's beautiful.
Have you seen Takoi Love is Hard for Otaku?
No, but I've been seeing clips of it, and I feel like they're going to be my couple goals.
That is our life. When I'm telling you, Narumi, the main character, is me, and if me and you are this similar, you and her are
you and I are like, I need to meet you in person.
We here. We gotta discuss those. We gotta make that happen. But seriously, like that show, because it's all about them being otakus. It is literally, and it's like making fun of themselves, but still being really good. It's only 11 episodes and it's on Amazon Prime, which I know you got. So it is really, really good. But the main guy, his name is Hirotaka, and he is like a game otaku. So all he does is play games. And when I'm telling you, he's like the splitting image of my husband in terms of like my husband's always playing video games. My husband's very quiet. Like literally, I'm like, that's us. Like
I love like right nerd here. Couples. Every time I see like a happy nerd couple, I'm like, yes, be cute. I love it. Like
he definitely is like more low key than me. Like, you know, I'll be like every day wearing an anime t-shirt. He'll be like, I don't need to do all that. But he supports the cosplays. He supports it all. He's my biggest fan. That's he don't sweet. Watch or listen to anything I do, but it's okay. But no, we definitely we had these Christmas cards and we both got Dragon Ball Z sweaters in the Christmas. That was our Christmas card this year. We did that. But back to the interview, because I'm going to have to wrap this up before. I'm telling you, we could talk for like 5. I've done that before. So we talked about what anime that you're looking forward to. What are your bangers right now? Like, what are you currently watching? And what are you like, what should people stop what they're doing and go watch? Because that's what you're watching.
So many. Okay. So let me think. To Your Eternity. I
heard that's good.
It's so good. And it's a different type of, it's a completely different type of storytelling. Like I've never seen a story told like this before. So To Your Eternity, watch that. If you love just beautiful animation and maybe like, and just kind of seeing this person, because it's about like this person, this being put on Earth, and he has to kind of learn about society and civilization from like the ground up. And it's kind of like you're watching like your child grow up. Like you get very invested. That's what I've been watching. Tokyo Revengers. I love Tokyo Revengers. It reminds me a lot of like the older like 90s like delinquent anime, kind of like Yu Yu Hakusho, but without like the magical powers and stuff aside from going back in time.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's my show. Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi is this it's kind of like, so it's like it's like this world where everybody is animals. It's kind of like Beastars in a way, in the sense that everybody is like an animal. And there's this taxi driver who just gets embroiled in this crazy web of, you have like gangsters, a possible kidnapping, some scammers, and just like insanity. And those are my 3. And of course Fruits Basket. If you just like, the final season, they're doing the final season right now. And if you just want to cry, just do it. Just watch it. If you like to cry, you're good. Just watch it.
Oh, if I'm not crying, it's not worth me watching. I will also cry in stuff that people are like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Yes, I am crying." I will go. And when I saw Demon Slayer in movie theaters, I was my husband looked over at me and was like, "Are you really doing this?" I was like, it was so bad. I go to the movies, like now that the anime movies are coming back in theaters, I will go by myself. Have you seen, hold on, it's at the tip of my tongue, Ride Your Wave?
No, I've heard of it though, but I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It is fantastic. I've seen it twice.
Which one is that one again? The name is so familiar.
It's the one that they're surfing. They be like surfing.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
I don't want, like the guy's a firefighter, the girl's a surfer.
I know. Okay, I haven't seen it though.
That one's good. It's so good. Everything is good. I love anime movies are definitely like a separate genre that I like absolutely love and adore. But as we are wrapping up, because all good things come to an end, of course, I'm going to have all of your social media links in the description of this episode, as I always do for all my guests. But is there anything in particular that you want to plug, or anything coming up that we should be looking forward to?
Ooh, I have so many video ideas. So I don't know. So keep an eye out for my Yu Yu Hakusho video. It's coming out. Should I get the exact date? It's coming out.
Yeah, if you...
What's it, the 23rd? Today's Wednesday? The 25th, June 25th. So check it out. I work so hard on these edits. So please watch it. And of course, like follow me on Twitter, the Tsunderi, Instagram, the Tsunderi. I'm on TikTok now. Learning about TikTok. I don't know how people be putting so many videos up on there. TikTok is hard.
Girl, who knows? I'll try my best.
That I'm watching sketchy anime on the not sketchy. I'm watching anime on sketchy websites, whatever TikTok that I did. That took me forever to do, just for a 15-second video. So yeah, follow me on TikTok. And hit me up on Twitter, because I spend way too much time on there. So
same.
Yeah, I spend way too much time on there. And of course, follow me on YouTube, Tsunderi, and HBCU Anime. And yeah, that's it. That's a lot of stuff. But yeah.
It is. No, it is. And I will have links, like I said, to everything. And when I post the episode, I always make sure to tag you and to, promote everything that is going on as well. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on my podcast. We're best friends now.
Yes.
It's too late. It's decided.
Yes.
My listeners going to be like, girl, you end every episode like, but it just be so much fun.
And our birthdays are so close. Oh yeah.
Listen, our birthday, we're going to get into that in a moment. But you have been listening to the Wonder of Anime podcast, hosted and produced by me, Lisa Dela Cruz. This episode was mixed and engineered by Jared Brown at Music is Passion Studios. His links, the links to the guest, and any other topics that we talk about are available in the description box of this episode. If you've enjoyed listening, please be sure to share on social media using the hashtag TWOAPod and @TheWonderOfIvy. Thank you so much for listening.